The opener likewise took a fabulous catch before in the game to send back Rohit Sharma, after which Australia's bowlers put India in a stranglehold. Australia 241 for head 137, Labuschagne 58 *. Bumrah 2-43 beat India to 140, Rahul 66, Kohli 54, Starc 3-55, Cummins to 234. Hazlewood 2-260 by 6 wickets. India might be where the core of the game currently dwells. However, the coolest head in cricket has by and by been demonstrated to be Australian, Travis Head, to be exact, who set up his side's record-expanding 6th World Cup triumph with a victoriously paced 137 from 120 balls in Ahmedabad, yet whose most critical commitment seemingly came a few 6.5 hours in advance, with one of the most match-turning gets in ODI history. What could have been for these two groups had Head not clutched a steepling, rambling take, running in reverse into the covers to cut off India's skipper, Rohit Sharma. Thriving, Australia's possible objective of 241 would have been essentially higher, most likely, and to decide by the fierceness with which India's new ball bowlers mauled at their adversaries in the power play. With Jasprit Bumrah and Mohammad Shami unavoidably to the front, there would have been every one of the more open doors for their pursuit to have brought down off its tightrope. All things being equal, Head hung tight, and in this manner, he applied a handbrake to an out-of-control innings that sounds completely delivered. On Rohit's watch, India had piled up 10 fours and 3 sixes in blasting along to 84-2 in the first power play. Whenever he'd gone, India gathered only for additional fours and 160 additional runs across the following 40 overs. It implied they couldn't post an all-out large, to the point of moderating against the inescapable beginning of the essential motivation behind why Pat Cummins had taken a chance with letting Rohit and co. set the plan in any case. As Australia's triumph came slow and steady eventually, with 6 wickets standing and a tremendous 42 balls unused, an edge that would have been more noteworthy still yet. For Head's excusal to the penultimate chunk of the pursuit, resolute, Glenn Maxwell pulled his most memorable ball for 2 to agree with his stance through to a triumph target which, as destiny would have it, was the specific all-out that Britain and New Zealand had been not able to divide by ordinary means quite a while back. In any case, that straightforwardness toward the completion didn't tell anything of the danger that had gone before it. At 47 for 3 after 7 overs, with Stephen Smith mysteriously neglecting to survey a LBW from Bumrah that was displayed to have struck his cushion outside off, Australia were in the main part of a sink or swim tussle against two of the most remarkable entertainers of India's beforehand unequaled mission. David Warner, in what might end up being his last ODI innings, had scraped Shami's most memorable real conveyance to Virat Kohli slip for 7, having fenced his own most memorable bundle of the innings from Bumrah past a similar defender's boot for 4, and with Mitchell Boggs' endeavour to raise a ruckus around town off their lengths, finishing in a free slice through to the Guardian. The group had tracked down its full voce without precedent for the game. Yet, Marnus Labuschagne held in Australia's beginning she in spite of the sense, mid-competition, that he and Head were seeking a singular compartment, showed the worth of his test pre-distinction with a dauntless companion's job of 58 not out from 110 balls over by finished show to run. He and Head expanded their vital 4th wicket stand of 192, seeing off speed and twist the same until, at some indefinable second around the 20th over of the pursuit, the nibble in a 2-paced wicket was supplanted with the even splash slide of the long guaranteed due at the point when Bumrah returned for the 28th over for a last shot in the dark, with Australia starting to speed up away on 148 for 3. He was welcomed with 3 excoriated fours from Head, either side of a painful umpire's call appeal for LBW against Labuschagne that felt like last confirmation that India's expectation had gone. At last, it was a clinical and heartlessly enthusiasm-killing presentation from the most considerable victors on the planet game. Each man in Australia's she had his impact in sucking the marrow from a challenge that, to decide by the ocean of blue in the Narendra Modi Arena stands and the hopeful participation of the eponymous PM himself had been expected as a crowning liturgy, all things being equal. The end hour of the match was welcomed in shocked quiet by 92,453 in number group, and nothing typified the feeling of public disappointment very like the prize lift itself, for which Cummins was left desolate on the platform for an entire 20 seconds before his group had the option to go along with him in the wake of tolerating their handshakes from all important focal point. Not that the absence of in situ recognition will wreck Australia's pride yet again, as Head's vital catch would eventually demonstrate. The tone for their triumph was set in the field, as had been the situation in the semi-last against New Zealand. The 37-year-old Warner was their gauge, throwing himself with energy to remove various limit balls. Yet while Rohit was at hand, it appeared to be that Cummins' bold chose to bowl initially could get before long wrecked, as such countless rivals before them, by India's uncommon load of stroke makers. All things being equal, he upheld his bowlers to finish the task they had begun in their uncommon competition opener in Chennai, where India's main three had all made Duxon drooping to 2 for 3, just for their shoddy objective of 200 to be taken out easily. This time, the do in any case. He calculated the strain of the large event could weigh more vigorously in the primary innings than the second, particularly on the off chance that his assault could make their initial leap forwards, all of which made Rohit's short-lived invasion even more courageous, carrying even as he carried the whole obligation regarding India's power play proactivity, especially against Josh Hazlewood, the provocateur of that Chennai breakdown, in the way of his running after the pitch to meet his hard lengths. There were shades of Sachin Tendulkar's pre-planned assault on Glenn McGrath in the 2003 last. Besides, on this event it appeared momentarily to work. However, at that point came the unequivocal snapshot of the match, a demonstration of handling magnificence that stood prompt examination with Kapil Dev's running catch off Viv Richards at the essential crossroads of the 1983 last. Rohit had previously pummeled 10 runs into balls from Glenn Maxwell's second finished, when he ventured into one more slap over the lawn off limit and miscued high out into the covers. Travis Head followed back from point with the ball slanting high behind him, and with his eyes never leaving the award, planned his plunge flawlessly to stick on with two hands. It will go down as an original World Cup second. Australia had still been battered for 80 runs in the first power play, the joint most surrendered in that period of the principal innings of a World Cup last. However, presently they detected their opportunity to turn the challenge on its head. 2 balls later, Cummins, into his second finished, found Shreyas Iyer's edge as he jabbed without conviction or footwork. And at 3 down in the 11th, with Shubman Gill previously gone to a limp draw off Mitchell Starc, Hardik Pandya's non-appearance as India's lower request turn was out of nowhere uncovered to be the shortcoming that Shami's staggering contact with the ball had up until recently hidden. There had been no such tension. While India had been beating along in every one of their 10 past competition wins. Please subscribe my YouTube channel and share with your friends.